Good morning, teachers, and welcome to our literacy workshop. Your facilitators are myself, Nisa Caetano, Crystal Roden Brown, Shaniza Went, and Kayan Gutgens. The objectives for today's workshop are as follows. At the end of our workshop, teachers will be able to describe the speech organs, distinguish between vowels and consonants, classify sound categories, understand the importance of speech awareness and the relationship it plays in reading, demonstrate accurate articulation of English sounds, correct pronunciation for our students, identify and address some mispronounced words, and engaging in a fun activity as it relates to sound production. We will start at 9 o'clock, and the session begins with an icebreaker, and then the first presenter on speech production, followed by organs and speech presentation. We have a quick 20-minute break, and then we continue with our next session, which will be on vowels and consonants, and then we end the session with phonological awareness, followed by a feedback survey. For our icebreaker, I want you to read the sounds. Look at the beginning sound of each word, and you are going to pair the two words that have the same beginning sound. So those words are bat, mat, cat, man, ball, sock, key, and sun. Pair the words together, the words that have the same sound. Session 1, Speech Production Mechanism. We will start with the lungs, which is the main organ in the speech production mechanism. This is what we call the powerhouse of speech mechanism. When we inhale and exhale, the air that comes up helps us to make sound. In simple terms, if there is no air, there is no sound. Next, we go to the larynx. This is the voice box, or what we call the sound maker. It has folds called the glottis. This is what we also call the vocal cords. They open and close when air passes through them, and when they vibrate, a sound is made. In simple terms, voice sounds are when the vibration happens. No vibration gives us voiceless sounds. And then we go to the pharynx. This is our throat. This is what we call the sound tunnel. There is a tube behind our mouth and our nose. This is what moves the sound from the voice box to our mouth. And then we have our oral cavity. This is what I consider to be the word makers. It modifies raw sound. It includes everything related to the insides of our mouth. Our tongue, teeth, lips, they all contribute to making different sounds. Labial gives us letters such as the P, the B, and the M sound. Labial sounds has to do with our lips. Dental sounds, this focuses on the teeth. It gives us letters like T, D, and S. And then we have the lingual sounds. These sounds are formed with our tongue, like the L and the R. And the list continues. We will touch more on this topic in session 2. After we do the oral cavity, we go to the nasal cavity. This is our nose. This is the sound helper. The nasal cavity helps to make sounds like M, N, and the NG sound, ng. As air passes through the nose, it gives a humming sound. Now I want you to take a look at the picture that is below. You are going to match the picture that you see, the number to the word. So I want you to tell me what word is for what organ is for picture number 1, the organ for picture number 2, eight, 4. And we're going to talk about what these organs are and if you connected them properly. We will then look at a video that talks about
how articulations happen and our body being the talking machine. So let's take a look at the video, and then we will have a short discussion after. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Kayan Goggins. This session introduces how the organs of speech work together to produce the sounds we teach in the classroom. Understanding this system helps trainee teachers teach pronunciations clearly and correct learners' speech errors. Speech begins with airflow from the lungs, which provides the energy for sound. This air moves up through the trachea into the larynx, where the vocal cords either vibrate or stay open. Vibrating vocal cords create voice sounds such as b and z, while open cords create voiceless sounds like p and s. The sound then travels into the resonating spaces, the pharynx, oral cavity, and nasal cavity. The velum decides whether the sound is oral or nasal. When it lifts, we produce oral sounds. When it lowers, we produce nasal sounds such as mm and n. Then articulation shapes the sound. The tongue and the lower lip move toward the teeth of your ridge or palate to form different consonants and vowels. For example, p and b use both lips. T and d use the tongue tip at the alveolar ridge, and the high front tongue position creates the I sound. In short, lungs supply airflow, the larynx create voicing, the oral and nasal cavities provide resonance, the tongue, lips, teeth, and palate shape sounds into distinct phonemes. All these organs work together to transform simple airflow into the wide range of sounds in English. To support different learning styles, we offer videos for auditory learners, diagrams and charts for visual learners, articulation mirrors for hands-on practice, written handouts and IPA charts for reading-focused learners, and online quizzes for interactive learners. Another useful strategy used in the classroom, story-based sound hunt, where a short illustrated story highlights a target sound. Children respond by clapping or holding up a card whenever they hear the sound, helping them recognizing it in context. Thank you.
Where we will be discussing vowels and consonants. Vowels are speech sounds produced without a significant obstruction of airflow in the vocal tract. The tongue, lips, and jaw may change position, but the air flow freely. Vowels form the core of syllables and are usually voiced. For example, a as in cat, a as in sit, a as in blue. Consonants, in contrast, are produced when the air flow is partly or completely blocked at one or more points in the vocal tract. They involve articulatory features such as place of articulation. Example, lips, tongue, and teeth. Manner of articulation. Example, stop and fricative and voicing. Whether the vocal cords are vi- whether the vocal cords vibrate. For example, p as in pat, voiceless babble stop, as in man, voiced babble nasal, as in sit, voiceless fricative articulatory. And here is a game that you can consider playing with your student, which calls vowel consonant sort race game, where you could divide your student into small groups, give each group a shuffled stack of letter cards. Once you give them the letter cards, they will be able to sort the letter cards into vowel and consonant sound into the correct basket, and the first team to win will get a prize. This is the end of our third session.
is phonological awareness? Phonological awareness has to do with the understanding of individual song structures in a language, and in this case, the English language. Now, it focuses on those individual tiny songs that make up a word. So, to be phonologically aware, you must be able to recognize those songs, identify them, and manipulate them by pronouncing each of these songs. Now, where do these songs come from? The songs comes from the different vowels and consonant symbols that you are aware of. As you know, there are 5 vowel symbols or letters: A, E, I, O, U. But each of these have several songs, a combination of several songs. There's the short song, the long songs, and the diphthongs. The short songs will be as in a, a, and then the diphthongs will be a combination of 2 or more vowels. Then there are 24 consonant songs, which also have various songs depending on the word it appears in. It has to do with the various ways each consonant is pronounced. So, for example, the letter P has a different sound in P versus in the word P. You will notice if you pronounce the word P, you make a little puff sound. Now, let us examine some skills in phonological awareness. How do we become phonologically aware? We must be able to blend songs where we put together the individual unit songs, such as in cat, to form the word cat. We must be able to recognize the various syllables of a word that comes together to make that word sound. Then we should be able to, or your students should be able to identify beginning and ending sounds of a word. Then there's the various words that has similar initial sounds. So they should be able to recognize the difference in ball or the word baby, both beginning with the b sound, but they are different words. And lastly, a phonological skill will be pronouncing, manipulating words with 2 or more consonants coming together, such as ST words, SL words, CH, SH, and some of the other popular consonant clutters. Now, why is all of this important? This is very important for our young readers as they develop their literacy skills. They will be able to build strong decoding skills, that is, pronouncing each word, helping them with word recognition, and of course, the spelling of those words. It will help them to read with fluency and, of course, comprehension skills. Now, some activities that you can do in your classroom to help build these skills are identifying rhyming words, identifying words that has the same word family, like cat and pat and mat. You can also play a game of clapping for each syllable of the word. Then there's a game of I Spy, where you will have your students look for objects in the classroom that begin with a particular letter song that you're trying to have them learn. So maybe you can say look for words that begin the S sound. And those are just a few of the games that you can play. We are going to give you a feedback survey. You can scan the QR code and give us your feedback. At this time, we will take any questions that you may have